You are listening to the one and only, the hottest podcast show on the planet. It's okay, Law. Over to you, John, Kenny, and Eugene.
Ha! Look at that beautiful camera looking people.
Show the photo of the setup.
Everybody
Oh,
had
okay.
an upgrade.
Well, changing gears lah. Literally changing gears.
Like
Not driving.
All your pixelated are gone, Kenny. You're on your iPhone camera.
Again, yay iPhone, but ever media, man.
Is this the front-facing camera or is it the back?
It's the rear one.
The rear
And
one.
I mean, I tried earlier with the front facing one. On my side, it didn't look any worse.
Let's see.
But this is now on the ultra wide
Ultra wide.
rear.
Oh, okay.
Ultra wide rear.
Let's see the whole
if we-
glory of it. There you go. Yeah, you saying?
It's the
Ultra
color,
wide.
right? The color, right? I mean, if I don't use the ultra wide camera for the ultra, if I use the regular rear camera, would it actually be a little bit better? Because of me, I don't need the wide wide view, ma. I just need
You mean
me.
just the regular wide, not the ultra wide.
Yeah, that's the tree, right? That's tree.
It should be
Yeah, yeah.
better.
But it is better, but the position of your phone is so near to your face. If you use the regular one, then you don't.
It's the same.
It's not. You gotta be like
Be too cropped in.
that.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked you to use the ultra wide one just now. And
Right.
Eugene on his Sony ZV-E10 looking pretty good. This is like
Is the lens
Looking
the
very
same?
good.
yeah, this is how you do it. I think the ZV-E10 is a bloody good camera.
It's the camera to go for, right?
It's the lens, man.
Yeah.
It's the lens.
Yeah.
Sigma 1.4.
How much is the ZVE10? It costs more than the Evermedia, right?
About 700 something thing.
It's the same. Oh, Sing. Okay.
Is that
Then
second-hand price
It's three
though?
times.
Pre-love.
That is just the body new price. It's just the
700
Okay.
sing, so that's like
What's the-
2001
750 sing, I think.
Okay lah. You pay for what you get lah.
3000 ringgit.
Three times the Evermedia. Three times of the
Yeah, but
Evermedia price.
it's also not just the body. It's also the lens. The lens is really good also lah. So
Yep.
I don't have any other lens other than the kit lens, but yep.
Mine is still the same one that you guys seen since day one. So hi, how you guys been, man?
Ideal setup. Yeah. How was this week? Same old.
Studying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you sound like you're in a lot of stress studying for your upcoming exam.
Yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster lah. It's like when I are we recording it?
Yeah, we
right?
are.
Okay. It's like when I think that okay, I think I got this down. Then when I do the practice test and actually I don't. So it's like, what is this? How come we didn't cover this? Or did I forget it? Then you go back and do it again and yeah, it's quite technical.
And you find this is even more so compared to the previous test, the AZ500. This one, you find that you are not doing the practice tests as well as you did for the previous course.
The previous one was AZ 900.
900,
So
correct. Sorry.
That was the fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
The beginner course lah.
Right.
And this is the intermediate one, and this is the AZ 104. We really gotta love these like.
There's no
naming
sequence
convention.
to the numbers one. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's quite at least there's no sequence that I've noticed like there's no pattern that I've noticed like. And so it's so this one expects you to be able to just jump straight into like an Azure environment and be able to
Spin stuff
know
up.
your way around and to immediately like issue commands via PowerShell and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, so it's like it's a bit it's like seeing how I constantly imagine what like my old like like IT support organization will be doing now that's different from the way I used to do it last time. So it's probably this like what they're doing now.
Actually, speaking of being able to just jump in and like get things going on Azure, Do you do any labs or any hands-on in your
Yeah. So
You have?
so
Okay.
so Microsoft Learn, which is the name of the website, where Microsoft like consolidates all of their learning material. They have got pretty good labs. So they have got like little sandboxes that will run for
Yep.
like about an hour, so you can play around in that sandbox.
I was going to bring that up as well, the Learn, because I'm going to try myself one or two of the Microsoft Learn challenges, something that I think I call it that. Yeah. So I've got some stuff that I also want to try on or get my hands dirty on with infra and Power Platform. So yeah, I was also going to just jump in on that, and I thought to mention it if in case but obviously you spend more time on that lah.
Yeah lah. So, but I'm not sure just how much it will be. I mean, how much you can actually like get out of these like sandbox labs, because some of the questions that in the practice papers that I've done, they ask you situations that obviously the sandbox cannot replicate. So like in an environment where there are like 500 virtual machines and spread across like 10 virtual networks, if this happens, then what do you do? Or which button do you click? I'm like, I don't know. And yeah, so you kind of need to like project yourself into a role where you're managing like a really large global organization, and you kind of need to like work that out lah. So I guess the fortunate thing is that I do have experience in a large global organization. It's just that it was not in Azure lah. So that has been useful lah. But yeah, so it's bringing what I remember from the past, trying to bring it in here and realize, they changed the name. And they've broken it down into like 5 products now, and it's all different. So but conceptually the technology has not changed the fundamentals.
Not too much, yeah.
It's just the approach is different. Yeah.
Have you decided whether you're going to go ahead with it or defer the examination?
I'm leaning more now towards deferring it by maybe a few days or a week lah.
Okay.
So yeah, a bit more time would be good lah.
What happens if you don't pass?
Basically, every attempt that I make at the exam is $175. And if I fail, then obviously it's costs that though you don't want to waste the cost lah. And but from what I understand, you can retake it
For free?
No. You must pay again if you pay another 175.
I mean, it's a business lah,
Yeah, but I can't remember whether if there is like a time constraint. Like, do you need to wait 2 weeks, or do you need to like, I don't know,
Cooling off period. Why? Because too tension for the student to keep on taking the exam.
Yeah.
I doubt there'll be one, but maybe like you take it like at least 48 hours later, just so that nobody spams examinations. I mean, that can't be a nice thing to do.
I think so lah.
Yeah,
I think
not like cooling off like a month or a week lah, like 48 hours, something like this lah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also taking the cost into consideration.
Yeah.
And also
175 USD.
And so next week is also the start of like the school holidays for the kids. So they'll be like around the house, and they'll be like jumping around, like wanting attention and stuff. So that's not ideal circumstances to study lah. So yeah, the plan was to clear it before that happens, but it seems like it may be a bit risky lah to do it now if I don't feel confident enough to get
you take the exam, and then there's a moderator or somebody observing you, and then making sure that you don't cheat, and then your kid comes by, and then Daddy, the infrastructure version, I wonder it's supposed to be done. that will be quite amusing.
Lock them up.
Yeah, if I do it with them at home, then yeah, they will get very strict instructions not to interrupt. So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's yeah lah.
Well, good luck with that.
Thanks, man.
All the best whenever you do it. Surely we'll know by the next 1-2 weeks at least.
Yeah, definitely
Okay.
within the week or within 10 days lah. At the very yeah, I can't imagine dragging it out longer than that.
All
so yeah, we're getting closer lah.
Saying that, it is also your birthday week. Happy birthday, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's like
No
one
song?
week.
No
one
song?
week. Oh yeah, of course there is song.
It's a different song. Different song.
Oh, not that one.
What was? Okay, a nicer song. What was that earlier?
It's
What
like
do you want to use that for?
that was a sad
Horrific moaning.
trombone.
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks, man.
So happy birthday, man.
Thanks.
We've got actually. Oh, I didn't cue it. I should have cued it. We have a celebrity wishing you a happy birthday on WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm not sure whether we can feature that or not.
Could you PIP it or
I don't know. Maybe not PIP it, but I could
No
play
PIP?
back.
just the audio is fine? Yeah.
I can play back the audio.
All right.
Hi, Eugene. This is Raymond Go.
Oh.
Here's wishing you a very happy birthday. May all your wishes come true, and may you be blessed with happiness, wealth, and
that
good
voice,
health
man.
always. Take care, Eugene.
His voice is so eternalized. Like he sounds exactly the same as he did when I was a kid listening to him on.
Yeah, you know what my wife said when I showed it to her. She said, "AI ah."
AI. But does your wife know Raymond Go though?
She knows.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
So it's all in our
Every-
childhood, right?
Everybody
Yeah.
within the 10 years range of our age would know Raymond Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Raymond, so she asked, AI ah.
It's a valid question.
And
to
then what
ask.
did you answer her though?
I said, no. John actually knows knows him.
Right. So the idea was this. I think it was just it was yesterday lah. And he went live on TikTok, and I think I heard him say that if your birthday is today or something, I'll wish you a happy birthday and everything, right?
Aw.
Then I went
awesome.
cheeky say, my birthday is today. Of course, he knows that my birthday is not. Well, he suspected my birthday is not yesterday. Or when I said that, I say, but if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. So it's like reluctantly say, right? And after that, I remember. It's Eugene's birthday today. And I said, so my friend Eugene is having his birthday today. And then would you be able to wish him? I'll record. And then I actually turned on the iPhone recorder and started record until he reaches
That segment.
that message that I sent, and then he started kind of, okay, let's record this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then start recording that segment.
Oh, okay, so cool. Because Adeline asked me like, what is this? As in like, where did he say this? I don't know. So it was just sent to me.
Well, certainly not TV3 Nightline News lah.
yeah.
Which doesn't exist anymore.
For the no,
What?
it
Does
exists. He
it?
still does.
Is it
it.
still-
He does it like
don't know.
in
He still
a
does
week.
it?
Yeah, he still does it every night. Not every night. 1 week, about once or twice that he's on air. 2,
Wow.
3 times.
Okay.
Easy. I'm not
Okay,
sure
so
his schedule.
Hence, still polished lah. I know, still polished lah. The voice is still working it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's still doing the Nightline TV3 12 midnight news.
Okay.
So those that doesn't know him, if you're listening to this podcast, which I think you guys don't know us more than not know him lah. Yeah, he's still on TV3 Nightline. Yeah.
We have our first guest or famous person on this show ever. Voice
way.
alone, but still good enough.
In a way. But certainly it was on TikTok, certainly not on TV3 Nightline. I've been trying to get him. It's like, Raymond, just for the lows, okay, when you are broadcasting your TV3 Nightline, just give me a wink. On camera. I know what it means. I know that wing is like I requested, but he said, "Why you trying to get me fired?"
Did you send the video clip to your parents, Eugene?
No, I didn't. It was
Yeah.
just-
No, it should be quite amusing.
Yeah. You should. So it'll be like John. If he does that, it'll be like it's like How I Met Your Mother. It's like Robin Schabatsky was like a news
Oh
anchor. Right?
yeah, maybe subconsciously, I had that in my mind. Now that you say it, right?
So what was the thing that some of the pranks that she pulled were damn funny one lah.
I can't remember. I've got to rewatch How I Met Your Mother all over again.
I've never watched it.
Yeah, you
Well,
should.
properly.
I think I've gotten over the anger from the finale. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
So last week, we went, or rather, I went for the screening, or rather, it was the release of the most anticipated movie of the year. No, it's not. A show about
Oh,
our
some hope
prime
for so.
minister, the Anwar, the Untold Story. Right. So I was pretty intrigued when I knew that this movie even exists or it was in production back then. Right. I was like, that's gonna be a fascinating story about how Anwar and his journey becoming our current prime minister, the PMX. Without a doubt, it's got to be
PMX.
a powerful story, right? I mean, growing up with it, we sort of like, I do not know about you guys, but I remember the snippets of it. So I watched it, and then the following day, I told Kenny go watch it, take one for the team. I was like, I was so triggered with it because it was such a, oh my god. And then I told Kenny, you got to watch it, so that we can we can talk about it.
And I did. I did.
Yeah,
I
on a whim.
obeyed. I
On a
obeyed
whim.
John.
Yeah,
I obeyed John. So John will be doing the all the stuff for this podcast for a long time more. That will be his commitment because I said yes to watching Anwar the Untold Story
so
on a
it's,
whim.
the thing
Wow, so
was,
bad, man.
yeah, well, I mean, okay, if it's not because of me wanting to talk about it, right? I don't think he will go and watch it himself for one, or I don't even think that uh, I will actually ask him to go and watch it because we won't talk about it anyway. But we are going to talk about it on this podcast, and therefore I got him to go and watch it, and he did.
So spoiler talk.
Yeah,
Yes.
spoiler. So this is gonna be, I think, is at least 1 week. So if you have interested with the movie, you already gone there and watch it. Otherwise, yes, let's go do full spoiler. I know Eugene haven't watched it. I don't think Eugene's gonna watch it. Maybe he will watch it if he. I asked him to actually go to JB though. He's in Singapore, right? Right? He could drive to JB and watch it. Obviously, it's not Paradigm Mall or whatever. If it's not Subang, whatever pyramid, this that next door. But you got to go across country to watch it. But he didn't go lah. But he will just participate in terms of like get spoiled, and then we see how it goes with this conversation. Were you curious, Eugene, to this movie? Did you know that it was coming out?
No, I didn't know about it. I think I may have seen something on maybe in preparation for it. I may have seen like a picture on like the on like news online and stuff, but no lah, I didn't. I wasn't counting the days lah. So and yeah,
And then, Kenny, did you know about the movie, right? That's
I've seen the promotion materials. I know of the movie. Did I watch the trailer? I think I would have watched the trailer. So before even watching the movie, I mean, obviously it's about Anwar. Exactly which part of his journey and whatnot, I wasn't sure. I think I would have watched the trailer, but it didn't exactly tell me the full breadth of the what the movie would narratively go through. So yeah, I mean, I knew of it. I knew of it, but it wasn't something that I would be jumping in to watch like within the first week of release, lah.
contrarily to things that I want to watch. I usually don't like to watch the trailer, so I go in like clean slate, trying to watch it from, with nothing in it telling me about the movie itself. So when last week when we talked about TGV, and when I wasn't watching any Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, right? And then you're gonna show me Guardians of the Galaxy trailer in front of the bloody movie, and I was really pissed off. But anyway, back to this Anwar. The only thing that I saw was those reviews of Anwar, and his family went over to the cinema and watched it, a preview screening, and there were like footages of Wan Aziza, crying and everything watching the movie, and I was like,
Oh,
okay,
really?
yeah. I mean, I think it is easy to actually evoke their emotions, especially for those people who are very involved
Gone
because
through it themselves.
yeah, because there's a lot of hardship. I definitely recognize that. There's a lot of hardship, and if you, even just reminded it, I think this will come out flowing, lah. You know, this
Right.
that will happen, lah. So I get it in the sense that they will feel like, oh yeah, I've been through that. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Oh, okay. So they will possibly feel very, in a way, quite more biased, or rather, they feel it a lot more. What do you think about movie? How did you enjoy it?
So I appreciated their focus on the, like what you said, the very tough moments in the journey, which Anwar went through, which the family went through, whether it's from the eyes or from the perspective of the wife or the daughters. More so the wife, lah. I mean, so Anwar. So I could see that they've tried their best to frame certain shots and then to really invoke the emotion. So it's definitely meant to invoke emotions, lah. That is definitely obvious, and I think that was done pretty okay. I mean, I could see how it works, and watching it as somebody who knows the story, and also as a father to daughters, I think it probably also invoke a little bit more emotion in me than what it would to the average audience, lah. So I can see what they're doing. How soon would you want to talk about the masterful editing
We
of
can
the
break
movie?
that down later on. But you know,
Okay.
speaking of like Nurul Izzah, and during that time of when we were like Form 4, Form 5, you know, and there was a period of time when we were boys, and there was some incident that happened. You're laughing because you remember.
The words, the way the words are going, just there's a period of time when we were boys, and then
No, right? What happened now? So we know Nurul Izzah was in Asunta in Lasalle PJ, right? The
it was
time.
our batch. It was our batch, and
our
the
batch.
prefects had this whole thing with the pen pals, with the prefects.
They had
in
some
Asunta or
events, lah. So
something.
what happened was
Yep.
on stage and during the standing ovation.
Oh, that one. It was the late night, Asunta late night.
Yeah, apparently.
That wasn't Nurul Izzah, that was the father.
Yeah, father was there, but
Well, the father was there, yes.
because Nurul Izzah was from Asunta,
The
right?
student, correct.
there.
She wasn't performing, right? She was just in the audience with the father.
All
I
the-
guess.
all
Oh,
these-
Louisa was from Asunta.
Yeah,
Asunta. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
She was. I said, our age, our batch. Outright.
Is she the same year?
yeah.
Based on
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what our batch means,
she's our
right?
age?
So I don't have, like, I mean, what I remember is we had the prefects, we had this pen pal thing going on between, like, prefects in LaSalle and prefects in Asunta, and one of our friends actually had to pair with Nurul Izzah, and back then of course I don't know lah. I just like, dia pair dengan Anwar punya anak like,
Pen pal
that's all I remember.
The
Yeah.
olden days version of sliding DMs or sending letters or whatever.
No lah. Well, like sliding DMs lah. Yeah, correct. DMs,
Either way,
long DMs.
either
So we had so that was how I knew. Otherwise, I would have no idea that Anwar's daughter, much less even the eldest daughter, firstborn some more, is our age and in Asunta.
But how much do you guys remember during that time about Anwar's cases? Because we were young, we were boys, we don't really, well, at least for me, I don't really got into politics. I don't really understand,
So 1997, 98, correct?
Yeah, about
97,
there.
98. That was the events. I was going to college. I mean, I had other things to focus on, and political news was something that you would hear about, but it can't relate to law again,
So my political news comes from like my grandma would be like, Anwar, play with backside, all this kind of thing. That's what they would say lah. And being from a Chinese family, from a very old generation, that's all they talk about, right? Because that's the sensational thing. But the essence of it, the reasons for it, and all this kind of thing is lost in translation because we just not invested. I was pretty naive.
Yeah, we don't hear from the source. And speaking of the source and the news, I just had a thought whether or not there's a chance that Raymond Go in his eternal voice reported on Anwar's case
That's
on the
interesting.
news.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like,
I mean, during back
I mean, like just imagine like the yeah.
the nightline news, I'm sure he would have been reporting back then already.
Whether he broke the news or whichever part of the whole
Yeah.
circumstances
And
that Anwar went through.
you got to
Yeah.
say that during that time, all these news were pretty big on TV. It's not
yes.
internet. There's no CNN or whatever. or
Mainstream-
the
mainstream
media,
news.
Internet sources.
And
Yep.
there wasn't even Astro. It's RTM1, RTM2, TV3, and also maybe
Maybe Mega TV.
Mega TV.
The first
Oh my
alternative,
gosh, Mega
yes,
TV.
with
Yeah.
that spiny looking antenna, and all the aunties and uncles, hey, must get.
So
It
during the
was called
time-
Mega TV.
Yeah.
Before NTV7, before
Was it cable TV?
it was
Effectively, right?
It was something. It was UDF or HDF or some ultra something high frequency. It was a different frequency lah, not usual. Yeah, I remember some antenna thing. Yeah.
Wow.
But TV3 was a big player then. I've got to say. So you got to be the time at the peak of actually newscasting, I reckon. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock news, you know. Crazy.
Correct.
So yeah. So I totally not really remember the whole entire sequences of events. It's just like snippets of things everywhere. So when watching the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, these were the thing that I remembered in the sense of like he got into jail, he got beaten up. That iconic blue black eye and everything is something that we see in press like till this day. So those are being reminded and all. So pretty much the Untold Story, right, is a lot to do with what we already know in a lot of sense.
Oh, I see. So it is the told story lah.
No, but the Untold Story focuses on what happens behind
I
The
see,
scenes.
okay.
what was reported, ma.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I got, lah.
Yeah. So you were saying the editing was
So, for the context of the audience, both on YouTube and on the podcast, I was told that by John that if you feel that when you're watching the movie you feel that there was some censorship, there wasn't, and basically the entire movie from about I think the 20th minute or so, like right after the first scene or two, the way that they cut from scene to scene, frame to frame, it feels like there was something being censored, like how you would normally feel like in Malaysia, hey, censor. But no, almost every other scene cutting to a different scene or different frame, it's like
there's no fluidity to it. There's the transition is so abrupt that it actually takes you off from the whole entire movie as though as it's
something
censored.
Censored. Correct. I
It
totally.
wasn't an intentional artistic choice.
No, it's not. It feels like a first year or a high school student trying to do their final cut project or a premiere.
Not
cut
even
project
trying.
or-
Not even
yeah,
trying.
cutting it.
I mean,
Okay.
I did even consider like, or is there some kind of like a intentional artistic, but like like, a lot of censorship, it's like it's like so surreal, but no lah, it was being done throughout the entire movie all the way from until the final act lah. So in fact, I think it got worse towards the
it got worse. True.
the later acts, right? Yeah, so I'm not alone in that. At first it's like, oh, okay. Then towards the final act, it's like as if like like, oh yeah, must faster meet the date of the release or whatever. Then like just hantam lah. The editing is just like you feel like as if there was
yeah,
censorship
okay.
at every single angle, and sometimes the cutting this abrupt cutting is within the same scene, as in like different take, same scene, also like as if it was censorship. The way they cut lah.
It's also very badly done in the sense of they were playing like
The time jumps.
Oh, the time jump is just pathetic. Like it's not a sequential movie. So they all has a lot of flashback, coming back to the
Artsy-fartsy lah.
present, and then going to the future, and then cut back to the past and everything, right? But it wasn't done obvious. It doesn't have anything that tells you that, hey, yeah, I actually jump back in time, that kind of thing. You got to sort of like guess, and that's like educated guess because we were Malaysian. We sort of know the sequential things that happen. If you are like brand new, if you are not Malaysian, right? If you want to just try to understand the movie, it's like I think you'll be lost. in the whole entire movie. Yeah.
Wow. Scathing.
I mean, so I think that the them doing it is trying to again be artistic in some way. And for us, I think for us who know the story and then who watch it, like you said, those who don't know the story, maybe it's more challenging. I realized that at the beginning they were jumping up and down, jumping through different times and then different places, and then they did put the year timestamp or whatever to show that, and then later on they don't. So they kind of like give you the idea first, and then later on they don't give to you, trying to make it more seamless, but yet not seamless. So I get that they're trying to do it something like this, but yeah, it felt like either they did it too often, or like would it have been better if it was like you do your time jumps a bit more differently, maybe, or just go sequential and focus on the moments and the challenges and the trials and tribulations that is experienced by the people. I think if they did that way, it would have just made it a easier watch. I mean, put aside the masterful in quotes editing. If that wasn't there, the whole editing or the whole censorship like editing, I think the movie is actually not that bad. I mean, because I actually bought into the storytelling of the moments of what they've gone through, but the way they jump around time and the editing completely took me out lah. And maybe the one more point that I would touch on the negatives is that not knowing the entire full story. I mean, nobody knows except for Anwar himself or even anybody else in the family. And as somebody who supports the current government, it does feel like they have put Anwar like a little bit too high on the pedestal.
Okay, so I have got something to say about that, because the movie became very, very self-serving because of how they really press on the point of like no corruption and everything, and it is like the way they tell it is very forceful, and it's like blatantly again and again and again non-stop. So when all these collectively put together, right, you take away the power of the movie in a sense of like it becomes a very self-serving about how great he is, rather than the whole entire situation. I thought that was lost opportunity to really, push home a point of like, all right, these are the corrupted areas of in the government and in Malaysia that people can actually believe. Because right now, if you were to watch this movie and say, yeah, this one Anwar is just telling how great he is, that's about it to me.
I mean, it's just not all about that lah. Again, I buy into the moments whereby they focus on the challenges and the turmoils that was experienced by the family and by going through all that they went through. So I totally buy all that. And I guess the way they do the time jumps, it does allow for the portrayal of those challenges and turmoils throughout all three acts of the film. So there's always a constant, like, okay, first he gets taken to jail, and then how he gets betrayed or whatever, or how everybody turns against him. There's always like a constant a need to tell how difficult and how challenging things were in all three acts. So that I think it worked lah.
Is there a 3-act? Can you like break it down to the 3 acts?
Yeah, there isn't because of the time jumps. But again, just like feeling like, okay, to me, it feels more like all the challenges that he had to go through, and finally the iconic moment with the hand. That's how the movie feels to me. It's like challenge, fight corruption, get caught, and then the final act is
remind me again, what was that hand iconic moment? I can't remember.
It was a photo taken of Anwar with a black eye with his hands up, and this is when he was going to court. And
was in the late 90s lah.
Yes,
during
late 90s,
when he got arrested lah.
His first trial. No, his first trial.
First trial, yeah.
He was already put in jail, and then he got beaten up, and then going to his first court order or first trial for this accusation. that was where the photo was taken lah.
I
And the
see.
way, yeah, and the way that in the movie was, I don't know what was the circumstances.
I don't remember it, but you mean it was kind of like a gesture to his supporters, to,
Correct,
like, keep
correct.
fighting kind of thing, lah.
Reformasi,
Oh,
and
I
then
see.
and reformasi, and then keep it up,
Yeah, I
kind of
don't
thing.
remember that.
And the way, I think the way the movie ended was that there was it was saying, okay, we only have one moment. You're not allowed to turn your head, turn your body to the supporters. You must keep walking to the courtroom or to the courthouse, and then they were saying, oh, there's only one 5-second window, and then you can turn, and then no, they set up the moment, and then that scene happened. He turned around, take photo, and then they overlaid that with the actual photo of the that was taken, and then that's how the movie ended with some
Oh,
description. Yeah.
okay.
So it was like that was like the finale, which okay lah. I don't mind it so much, but exactly the in terms of the movie's act, it's like challenge, fight corruption, and then that is the penultimate ending, and with the ending as well, of course. To say, okay, like Anwar served his time, then he got out of jail, whatever, and then this is the footnotes that appears at the end of the movie, just to tell, bring us up to speed. The part where they go like, now Anwar is the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia, that line came up and it straight away went away. It's like, if I had no idea that he's the Prime Minister now, I would not have caught that line in one watching. I was like, why
I
the
didn't
words come out so
remember
fast?
even seeing it.
It came out, and then I was like reading the
Oh.
top part about that Anwar served jail, and then it came out, and then he election, and then the last line was, and he's now the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia. I knew that word because I saw at the peripheral, in my peripheral vision, that's at the bottom, but it went away so fast. It like hey,
Okay.
come on lah. That was like you should like like have the words come out, and then you have that last line there, you bold it, and then you let it fade slowly or something like gone. I mean, on one hand, the editing is amazing,
yeah,
and on the other hand, the pace of those text subtext also like double A lah.
It's like nothing pays well. The
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
scene,
that's the way you say.
all the to building up moments, and then abruptly taking out you from that moment to something else. Suddenly, it's like, why am I here? That kind of thing, and it happens throughout the whole entire movie. And I didn't even see the text that happened at the end.
Obviously, I wasn't gonna stay for any potential after credits lah. But
Credits.
To top that off, right? To top that off, the one that is so bad, I would say, right, is the script that's written for them, right? I'm not sure whether you actually realize, but the conversation is so okay. Number one, this movie was done in Indonesia, so a lot of all
That's what I read.
those sub
actors,
right? All those
Calafes,
calafes and whatsoever, right? When they speak, right, it's so heavy Indonesian accent, right? So that I did notice a
Oh.
bit here and there.
Okay.
Still acceptable, but what I couldn't like agree on the script was like our Anwar Ibrahim was like using I and you in the conversations, which he doesn't. Mahathir was using I and you, and Tun Daim was using I and you in their conversation. The guy, you will you pergi sana lah, you know that kind of conversation. You, and then refer himself as I. These leaders don't talk like that in Malaysia. They don't. They simply don't. Even you see them conversation like off cameras
among each other.
They don't talk like that. They talk proper bahasa, right? And the way they were putting the I in you is like, come on, that's just so bad. And I mean, a lot of people say that their acting were pretty good and everything. For me, it's like it's just enough to
It
serve.
wasn't bad, law. It wasn't bad, lah, but it's not great as well.
It's just enough to serve the movie. It's so disappointing because you read a lot of news, right? So after the movie is wrapped up and it's about to come out, right? There are interviews with the cast and everything, and I believe that the whole entire productions are like pretty sensitive because the genre of it and the topic of it, and the actor, the main actor said that he was prepared not to come back to Malaysia already if things go
Did
south.
we lose John?
If he
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
did you lose
Does
me?
this keep on going when he's not here? Or?
Well, he's recording, so whatever he's
I can
recording,
hear you.
it will be a offline thing or roadcaster, or he's back.
No, I can
Right.
hear you guys. You know,
Hey?
Is it? We
Okay.
couldn't see
I
you. We couldn't
didn't.
see the 3 windows.
Yeah. The 3 windows went away after you freeze for a while. I thought it was me because, my CPU problem with my machine, but my camera's not on.
No,
So,
I
yeah.
Seems to
didn't went
be
away.
okay
I
for
can
me.
hear you guys, and then you are. Did you lose John? You know, I was like, oh no.
Okay, so that's in the recording lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything was in the recording.
All right. Okay.
So
Real world and raw. Okay.
So what happened was like those actors, the main actor came out and said that I don't even know if I can get back to Malaysia, after shooting this film and everything because of like the the topic of the film, the sensitivity of it, and where they are so prepared to like move abroad already because of be involving in this
Really?
project. That's what he said in one of the interview,
Okay.
right? So
Oh wow.
so I'm sure they took on a lot of risks, a lot of things to get this production going. Kudos to that, but it's such a
Did they have a big budget? You think?
I don't
10
know.
million.
Was it
10 million ringgit. I read somewhere 10 million ringgit.
That doesn't sound like a lot actually.
It's not a lot, but I mean for like Malaysian filmmaking budget, it could be also a reason why they went to Indonesia. Budget reasons. Maybe?
No, I think it's also the sensitivity of the film.
That's true.
If you were to shoot in Malaysia, you do not, and that during the time of production, and I think this went on production for a very very long time. In terms of like, at least for the development of the film to shooting it. Maybe the shooting wasn't that long before, but the production of the film I think started in 2013, 2014, very long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
was it
that's
before it
news to
became
me. Yeah.
BVTPF?
So
Okay.
yeah. So we were saying also like
Interesting.
the movie became self-serving. Why I felt that way is also because like throughout the whole movie is all about Anwar's accolades, best finance minister, and just shoved in your face, that kind of thing,
They did keep saying that more than once or twice, which I realized.
And then
yeah,
put it
okay,
up
okay.
together
okay.
that he's not corrupt and he's fighting corruption, and the way they did it makes it very very self-serving to me. So it should be a movie where it doesn't talk about, or rather it is presented in a way that things happen and then get you be emotionally attached to also things that how to say, that made him the sequence of events that got into him, like all the lies and everything that was being said out. And I want that those are the main thing to talk about rather than telling me how good he is, because you already sold that to me already, as how I know the situation. There were a lot of production problem. Like, you remember that scene when he got captured? The scene when the police breaks in, suddenly you hear a lot of noise, bang, 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 and then the police break into the house to capture Anwar.
Broke through the glass of the window
yeah.
and then
What I don't understand is the whole entire house was surrounded by his supporters. Why do you need to break in like that? I don't understand how that event actually can happen. If the whole entire house is with his supporter, the police arrive. How you break into the house?
there's no surprise. There's no like
Yeah.
clip lang, and then
Everywhere was people.
well,
Right?
it's for filmmaking. Yeah.
And
Well,
what I thought it was a missed opportunity is like, instead of just telling me Anwar, when he got arrested, how come he got so many people that's in his house?
or whatever the place is.
What's
yeah.
the reason? When did PKR came about? When did the reformacies happen? When did people start turning and then side Anwar, and then all these people started to gather steam and everything? All these are not told, which I kind of hope it actually described in the movie, because I think that's pretty important in the sense of like not suddenly seeing, wow, thousands and thousands of people just coming out and support Anwar. Where's the build up? Where is the precursor to it? You
So
know.
there's definitely the mention about him being a good government servant or a good minister, does things the right way, and then the next thing you know, oh, he's got more power, he's got people like him. They say all these things, but like you said, John, no, they don't get into the psyche of the people, and I guess, yeah, again, I feel that if the movie went into more intimate narratives of be it for the people, be it for the family. I mean, the family one they tried. Definitely, I can see that. But there's also the self-serving nature of the movie, which again you do once or twice, okay lah. But they did it quite a bit more that makes it feel definitely not as not so finesse lah in the sense. So. I would think if the editing wasn't this bad, if they pace then sequence the movie the scenes better, and don't make it so self-serving, then I think we actually have a decent movie. Otherwise, I
You
think
still
these three
think it's a
things
decent movie? I can
I
add on to
actually
it.
bought
Your
into the
scripting,
frames. The
the scripting is bad to me. The scripting was bad. The pacing you said already. Even the soundtrack is so much error. One of the things why the cut was so jarring is because the soundtrack is gonna cut out of nowhere and then jump to another scene.
Oh, okay.
So
basically
that's why
also,
it will
also
take
editing
you
lah, sound
take you
editing
out.
and also film
Yeah,
editing.
there were
Yes,
there,
yes.
there was also like there was a match, the scene matching event. I can't remember what it was already. Was it a song, sung by Anwar, or it was just like
City, no,
no?
Anwar?
There was a scene where it was sung, that was in the
he was
prison,
singing a song in the prison.
and then it was
The
cut
wife.
out outside, and then it was continue. The volume of it just doesn't match the matching scene that they're trying to do. Just doesn't work. It just cut out. I was like, oh my god, that kind of thing.
It's just not fluid lah.
It's
Just
not
not fluid.
fluid.
Yeah.
There was
Definitely,
soundtrack.
definitely.
There was soundtrack that I was like, telling my partner, hey, just cut like that. I was like, huh? Why just cut like that? The kind of thing. I don't. Not sure whether you remember. There's a scene when he was beaten up. He was lying on the cement in the in the
In prison cell.
cell.
Yes.
There was a top-down shot coming
Yes.
down, and then it was like abruptly cut to something else, and then come back to that shot. I was like, what the heck was that?
There was more than one time when they used that Anwar lying down on the prison cell as a starting sequence. I felt that they did that more than like 2 or 3 times in the movie. I felt like, okay, here we start again. Then another again, it could be a brand new day or whatever. But I did, now that you mentioned it, I did remember that they actually used that as a starting frame for quite many parts of the movie lah. And I want to say about the whole area of the editing and the fluidity or the lack of fluidity of the film. Do you think the average Malaysian moviegoer would let those fly by? Like, just don't realize it, or even like, okay, tak apa lah. They just like, biar aja. I have a feeling like more people would just let it, like, don't care compared to what we hope for. Actually,
that's the thing, right? Because
there's a
okay,
thing that yeah. No eye for this kind of things.
I saw like there are a couple of people on TikTok did mention about how poor the movie is.
Editing.
Like that's
The movie in general.
But-
Okay.
But when I did a little bit of search of the production team and everything, and then saw the reviews, people were like cheering how wonderful this movie is, how good this thing is, and how emotional it is, and I could feel how painful it was, and all this kind of thing. And I was like, I'm kind of disappointed in a lot of way that, such a bad movie, right, gathered so much love, and not recognizing all the flaw
Flaws
that's
that it has.
happening, and it really tells a lot about the comprehension of all this production and movie making, and how forward we are in terms of like making movies.
No, I think I do give some credit in how they portrayed the narrative of what the family went through, and so they did that to a decent extent, and I think credit where it's due. That one jadilah, but doesn't doesn't cover or make it okay that they have other flaws as well. So again, if the audience was to watch the movie and then they just zoom in on that and then they close their eye or they're completely blind to every other element that didn't go so well for the movie, I can imagine why people would sincerely say that, and purely because they either don't have an eye for such things like film editing and whatnot and the fluidity of the film, and they were consistently buying into all the emotional scenes, which I also recognize, whether it's the whole father-daughter scene or even like the him being a father and having to do all this. I recognize how they portrayed it and how it would make a viewer buy into the movie for those scenes. But for me, it didn't make it okay that you still got all these other problems going on in the film lah. So lost opportunity lah. For me, it's a huge. I mean, if you take this kind of story and then you put it in the hands of Yasmin Ahmad,
Oh,
just think of that. Just think of that.
that
This
would
story,
be so
Yasmin
good.
Ahmad, steady. That,
Yeah.
I just thought of that. I wasn't even thinking that when I left the cinema, but Yasmin Ahmad, her storytelling ability, how she builds the characters, and then she goes into the psyche of the characters, slowly frame, shots to tell that. Which I think they try to do it in some areas for this film, but yeah, piecemeal lah. So yeah, there you go. Anwar, the Untold Story, but if only we had Yasmin Ahmad, and if she would actually take on such a film, she might. I mean, yeah,
What
the
is
late
it?
Yasmin Ahmad.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Yasmin Ahmad that passed away?
Yes.
Yeah,
So she did those Petronas ads, right?
Yeah.
That was her. It was how she got famous with the Leo Burnett projects with Petronas, and then
Right.
Sepet and Muksin
right,
and
right.
all those
Okay.
Gupra and all those shows lah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the end, I think it's a disappointing of a movie, and despite we can say that film and art is subjective, it's really disappointing to see a good story being told wasted.
Yeah.
A good story being
Yes.
wasted like that. But there are good people that's in the production, possibly working very, very hard to get this project moving and all the risks that they took, right? It just falls short of a movie. The production quality, the message, the storyline, the editing, everything is just not up to par. Just feel sorry, man.
Just be mindful of time. So we got probably another 10 plus more minutes to go. So Anwar became the prime minister. What was it? End of last year. Was it? No, okay,
Early- G15, basically.
a month after G15, like so it's like November,
November, yeah, around there.
time frame. Okay.
Oh, has it only been 6
And then-
months? Has it
yeah,
only been 6 months?
half a year,
Oh,
mark.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then we got this movie 6 months later.
Mm.
How long was it after GE14 that you and I went and watched M from Malaysia, the Mahathir one, which was a more of a documentary than a film?
Yeah, well, okay, put it this way. Those things weren't acted out, right? Were it? Those were the real moments, right?
It sounded like the
I can't
one of
remember
the
that.
one of the granddaughters of
Yeah.
Mahathir is
Yeah.
is a filmmaker and wanted to capture like the moments leading on and after GE14.
So that's much more of a
yes.
documentary where production
It is a documentary.
happens,
Yes.
no acting, just document whatever that's happening, and that itself is a pretty strong story to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Right.
that was, and that came out what, a year? No, well, we had barely 2 years of the government lah. But then the movie came out, and then it's like we watched it, and then that was documentary is not apple to apple with Anwar and the Untold Story, but that was something that I enjoyed watching, and I'm glad I watched.
There's
I enjoyed it
another
more
one.
than the Rise in Kalila.
Yeah,
Rise in Kalila.
Ini Kalila.
Rise is probably just more like a more okay lah. It's another okay film.
How many films have there been? It sounds like there's so many.
I think this is the only three that I know of lah. Like Rise in Kalila was also talking about I think lah G14.
Yeah, the voting.
Right?
It's on Netflix.
The
if you
voting.
guys want to
Oh
catch
yeah,
it, it's
yeah,
still on
yeah.
Netflix.
So I've not seen any of these.
Yeah.
So
So after all said and done, would you want to watch Anwar the Untold Story, Yu Jin?
After this conversation, not so much lah.
Before this conversation, you wanted to watch it more.
Well, you want to go to
I
JB
would
and watch it.
actually, I would need to actually have heard about it first before wanting it. I honestly
So
didn't hear about
before
it
John
previously.
mentioned it in our group chat, you had no idea about this movie. Okay.
But that's not like the fault of like the marketing or like the marketing of the other movies. That's just me lah. I'm generally not very.
I
I'm
mean,
not
it probably wasn't marketing
quick with
in
these
Singapore, so lah, right? I mean,
But
there was no release in
even
Singapore.
like I mean, I've not seen like even the newer stuff. I've not seen like
Oh, okay, in general.
I've not
Movies in
seen,
general.
Like, Wakanda
Okay.
Forever or
Okay.
whatever. I've not seen any of that. So it's not. So yeah. So it's not so much the movie. It's just me. So
Okay.
I'm just not very. Much, yeah.
You know, I was working today, and on my right monitor over here, I was watching Air Force Selagi Berjiwa.
Okay.
What is that?
Where did you get that?
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Right?
I actually want to give it a go. Actually,
It's actually quite entertaining, I gotta say.
that-
Good-
I was told. So Eugene, did this
it like
movie
Top Gun?
come out around the same time as Top Gun? They came out around the same time.
yeah,
right?
about the same time as Top Gun.
Yeah, so when Top Gun Maverick came out, which we saw together, we were also joking like, "Hey, this movie really like those films." I think there's a term for it. Like there's a big blockbuster movie coming out, and then these like B grade studios will just create another movie, same tone, almost same title, just to push it and then run on the marketing and fool people who don't know better. There's a term for this kind of things. And there's a term for this kind of movies.
What's it called? What's it called?
Air Force
Air
Selagi
Force, is it?
Air
Berjiwa.
Force selagi
Benyawa.
berjiwa. Benyawa. Is it Benyawa or Berjiwa?
Benyawa.
What a name.
There's Sheila
Selagi
Majid theme
Benyawa.
song. That Sheila Majid theme song very good. Can't remember what's the name right now.
I didn't even know that she sang for the orders. Oh, wait, maybe I did, but I don't know the song.
She sang a song called Selagi Ada Cinta lah.
No,
Wait, is that Siti Nurhaliza for?
Probably not in the song.
Okay.
Wira
It's probably
Hatiku.
not in the movie.
Oh no, that's Juwang.
Wira
That's
Hati.
not. That's another
I can't
movie.
find it, man.
Lagu tema
can't
Wira
find it, man.
Hatiku is Juwang. Sorry, it's not that movie. I got mixed up.
What's
The
Jua?
only one that I have
It's
is
another one of
Air
those
Force the
movie.
movie Danger Close.
So Air Force the movie Selagi Bernyawa. That's the one. Hey, wait, wasn't there already a
Wait a minute,
sequel?
but the cast, it looks like a Malay cast war.
Yeah, that's the one.
Aiman Hakim Ridza, is that it?
Yeah, that's the one.
It's called something else here.
I got it here as Air Force the
Danger
movie
Close.
Selagi Bernyawa.
No, it says Air Force. How do you? Can I just tap the screen to focus in? Air Force.
Eh?
Air Force. The what?
The
Danger
movie
Close?
Danger Close. That's on Netflix.
Oh my god,
Close,
that's
yeah.
what they titled it as in Netflix.
Yeah,
Because Selagi Bernyawa would not be
international. I guess
recognized by the national.
Well, I guess
So
also
Danger Close.
maybe because
Actually, you know what? Danger
it's
Close
English,
sounds nicer than Selagi Bernyawa.
Yeah.
If I think about it now, it's kind of like a call or a signal for like Danger Close, that boogie at 6 o'clock. Danger Close kind of thing. It actually rolls out the tongue better than Selagi Bernyawa, which probably
Well, it sounds
Yeah.
good in Malay though. Selagi Bernyawa. It's like
Oh, check it out. I got a list of like other Malaysian movies.
yeah, I got
Police
Pascal,
Evil 2.
Mat
Police movie before.
Kilau. I don't mind
Bikers
watching Police Evil
Renters
2. You know what I believe?
Mm.
Growing up, right, if you watch a lot of TVB dramas, right, all the Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and majority of the TVB dramas, right, a good big chunk of it is about police story,
Yes,
and then all those
Yes, that's
for
true.
those big movies is also police stories and all this detective and stuff like that. I
it's
think
a common narrative to go lah. Yeah.
it is a good narrative, and it does provoke a lot of patriotism in the country, one I reckon. So all this Pascal, Air Force, Police Evil, I think it's pretty good.
Our Boys to Men.
Our Boys
got
to-
3 movies, right? Hey, got
Four.
There's a girl.
Girl
There's
to
girls.
yeah, girl
I've
to
not seen
something.
it.
Girl to Woman. No, there's a female version one. I remember.
Yeah.
That's the most recent one. I heard about it, but I didn't watch it lah.
But that's in
I didn't
Singapore
watch
lah.
it. I didn't watch it.
Actually, quite entertaining. Those are Boys to Men shows, to be honest.
I did watch the beginning. I thought the beginning was really good though.
Oh, it's,
The
it's,
one-
it's
They had-
very
they had the
dated.
simulation, ma.
Yeah, the simulation is
Oh,
very
CG lah,
dated. The
CG
CGs
lah,
are very
yeah lah.
dated. But you look past it. It was a time, that time it was those
Yeah.
production, and then you actually watch it. It's actually quite entertaining. I kind of like it.
No, this the what Neo guy what's his name?
Jack Neo.
The director Jack Neo. He's basically like the gold standard for filmmaking in Singapore. I mean, for local Singapore.
That's what I heard.
Back then lah. I mean, his films would work lah. Whether it's the Chinese New Year one or whichever. And it was actually quite okay. In both like entertainingly funny and also got some moral value. Of course, then after he got a scandal lah. But that's his own thing.
Right.
Yeah, Jack Neo. That's the guy. Oh.
Oh,
Okay,
well.
I will give Air Force the movie a watch. I've been thinking about it, and then it's on Netflix, so it's
Air
easy
Force
to
Danger Close.
danger close while you still have a life. While you're still alive,
The Danger Close, Air Force the movie. So, well, at least I got it out of my system. Anwar, the Untold Story. It was bothering me so much because it felt like there was a very big opportunity there. That's why I felt
I
like,
agree.
Man.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, because you really, really wanted. Let's record. Let's log on now and record.
I didn't felt like you need to be a big ass Hollywood production, or at least give the story a little bit more, how to say, do service to it, But I just felt it didn't. So that's why I'm quite disappointed.
Missed opportunity for sure lah. Yeah, but I think it got to you more than it got to me. I think I recognize its flaws, but it wasn't all out bad for me lah. I could still find solace in the certain scenes like I was saying.
I'm like watching the movie, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like so Galisa, like just watching
Galisa.
Yeah. So yeah, well, thank you for
the Untold Story.
actually listening to us ranting about stuff, and I think we are about just 1 hour into our recording. If you are watching us on YouTube, you can also certainly download our podcast via these QR codes that's on our screen. You can scan it. You can subscribe us on I wanted to say Sheila Podcast. No. My Spotify's on Sheila Majid's page on Spotify, and also we are on Apple Podcasts and all, so you can listen to us while you are driving and all. I guess just leave us a comment if you are watching, and if you have any questions, we'll bring it into the next episode and we maybe address them or something. Next week we try something new.
Doing audience interaction. Yay.
Yeah, next week let's try something new. Let's go totally
AMA?
live.
Live? Oh,
Recording.
What does that mean?
Live
Ask
recording.
me anything. No lah. I thought John wanted to do like ask question already. I wonder what how much of an audience do we have to get
Zero.
questions from? But
0.
yeah.
Our YouTube subscriber count is 5 now. Yeah.
Start
Any
somewhere.
last words, guys? Take it away.
No.
That's it
Have a
then.
good week, everybody.
I want to watch Air Force the movie
Go watch Air Force.
just to see. Yeah.
It's actually pretty entertaining. All right. See you guys, man. Thanks for the chat.
Until next week.
You guys
everyone,
look fantastic now on the screen.
iPhone 12 beats Evermedia. All right.
All right, everybody. Ciao, ciao.